Fook and Mishell on Rock 92 KFMA, and we're talking to none other than Linkin Park and STP's own Chester Bennington.
Well, you are Fookin talking to me.
Awesome.
Do you get that a lot? Dude.
All the time, but you know what? Never somebody as cool as you has said it, so.
I have to do that to people who have the same problem that I have.
Which
it makes me feel better.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, my name is so easily, I mean, you can imagine with the name like Chester, how many creative and inventive things people have come up with to call me.
Yeah, what did kids in third grade call you?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
Something I don't even like to repeat because it bothers me so bad. I'll tell you afterwards so you guys can know.
I'm trying to think, but it wouldn't have been
If I tell people what it is, then they're just going to say it. They see me.
Chester, Brester, Lester, Chester the Molester?
Bam.
Is that it?
Ah.
Did I just say it?
Yeah, that's all good.
Chester the Molester. That's the one everybody goes to. And never really liked that one.
It's
No.
Hey, look, any press is good press, right? Recharged, Linkin Park, the second remix album from you guys, songs off Living Things, came out yesterday. I mean, you've got a ton of like superstar DJs on there. What is the whole, like, do they just send stuff to you, or do you ask people to do stuff for you?
It would be cool if there was like a list of people that are just like waiting for us to like answer them if they can collaborate with us. But the main way that we get in contact with people if we want to do something is by reaching out to them, whether by calling them personally. Usually that's the way we start things off. We don't really like to send out like too many messages from a company that says the band would like requests your presence. The way that Steve and Mike ended up talking was finding out that they followed each other on Twitter.
When you reference Steve, that's DJ Steve Aoki, who actually, this is the one new song off of Recharge, The Light That Never Comes, and you sound awesome here.
Waiting for a light that never comes, I chase the...
And how did he get picked to do the new one, or is that just something he and Mike were working on?
It actually started off with we're working on creating some remixes for this album that we're doing, and that kind of turned into... Well, that's cool, but I mean, what I was really excited about was potentially writing something. That's the kind of conversation that happens sometimes. Some people are like, hey, let's write new stuff, and some people are like, yeah, that'd be awesome, I'll remix that thing.
Let me jam a little bit of this. I found this on YouTube, so this might be pitched up or down, I guess you can tell me, but the Castle of Glass remix done by Mike. Oh, just bumping.
Yeah.
I mean, that just must slay in a club.
Dude, that is the sickest track on the record right there.
That's serious. Do you guys ever walk into a club, they're playing your music, you dance to it? Is it weird?
Normally when I'm somewhere and the music starts, it's typically because they found out I'm there and they think it's cool to like start playing our songs. And it just feels like, oh, there it is. It's like now dinner turned into like, a meet and greet. And it's like, whoa, it definitely takes you by surprise. When it happens naturally, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I've been places where it just comes on and I like walk in the door and people are like, no way, and it's fun and it's cool. I would say I normally wouldn't dance to a Linkin Park track because it would seem kind of douchey, but I would dance to that track right there. It's the best remix Mike's ever done, and I actually think that version of Castle of Glass is as good or better than the original.
They play that right when you walk into a club or something. They basically blow your cover. So that could make it super hard to be like incognito.
It is kind of, we're a band that kind of prides ourselves on being that, flying under the radar for as big as Linkin Park is in some respects. It's like, I don't ever have security with me. I'm not, I don't need it. Nobody's carrying what I do when I'm not in Linkin Park. And, I see people every day that recognize me and we take pictures and say hi and it's fun and, it's really cool. But, when you walk into a club and they start blasting your stuff, you're just like, okay.
It also focuses a lot of attention on your dancing. Do you feel like you're a confident dancer?
Well, that's the main problem is that I suck at dancing, and I don't like dancing.
Puts you right on the spot.
No, you don't like dancing. Are you more of a, like, all right, now if...
I'm more of a convulsor.
When you were a kid, did your parents ever make you take those, well, here's like the ballroom or here's how you properly dance with a woman classes?
No, I was actually the kid with a mohawk and MC Hammer pants, and I was caught between two worlds. By day, I had ripped up jeans and studded leather jackets with circle jerks on the back, and then by night, I was a hip-hop loving, hammer pants dancing kid that would do the dance circles at the high school dances.
You were
But
too legit.
I was very too legit. Luckily, I married a woman who doesn't like to dance, so I'm never really forced to go out out to clubs and dance.
We're fortunate enough to be talking with Chester Bennington of Linkin Park, and we can't let you off this phone without talking about STP.
Bam.
This would be the weirdest part for me. Did you have a relationship, either good or bad, with Scott Weiland before taking the job, or after, for that matter?
I would say yes. Scott and I have we've hung out many times, and we've done Camp Freddy shows together. We've toured together. We've had dinner together. I would definitely say that there was a friendship there, and I hope that there still is. I understand, obviously, that there's not one, but at the same time, I have nothing but respect for Scott and what he's created. But I do know that when the band called and said they let him go and they were moving forward, that is exactly what was happening. I mean, it was either me or somebody else, and at that point, I was just kind of like, I love this band and I love the music, and I want to be a part of, keeping it alive to a certain degree and going out and playing these songs the way that they should be played.
Will you reach out and maybe send him a Christmas card, or would that be too
Probably,
weird?
I think that's inappropriate. Obviously, I just want to stay out of all the, stuff between the band.
Sure.
That's their thing. It's their history. And I just want to enjoy making music with these guys and going out and playing shows. Like that's what I want to do. I just want to play music with my friends.
What was the process like? How did you get the job?
Must have been a very short list of people that they reached out to.
There was nobody else that they reached out to. They only called me. I think that was one of those things where, when they made the decision to move on, it's one thing to say we're going to break up and then we're going to go do something different. They've done that before, and they've had that experience, and I think these guys realize that, they worked their asses off to have what STP is, and they don't want to let it go. And keeping it the way it's been just wasn't going to be working for that anymore. And so, when they called me, when they thought of me, I think it was one of those things that was like they knew me, they knew the type of person that I am, and that was kind of one of those things like, dude, we should call Chester, that'd be crazy. And they called, and I said yes. And I don't know if they necessarily thought that I would, but I thought that they thought to themselves it wouldn't hurt to ask. Amazingly, I said yes. It was a gut reaction. Typically, those gut reactions have worked out well for me.
Was there any reaction, or was there any thought in the back of your head? I mean, that the guys from Linkin Park might be like, "Well, hang on for a second. You're already in a pretty awesome band."
No, of course. I have to get the blessing of those guys before I do something outside the band. Now, given the nature of STP, that's a pretty big something outside of the band to be doing.
Sure.
And obviously the expectations are that it's successful. And so, obviously their concern was, are you sure you're going to be able to do both? And be a father and all that stuff. So they gave me their healthy concerns, and but they supported this decision, and it was really a great, it was exactly what I expected.
I know there's a little bit of a name tussle going on between Scott and the name of Stone Temple Pilots, and you guys are Stone Temple Pilots with Chester Bennington.
I stay out of that stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, was there
That's
any thought of maybe changing the name of the band to sort of
Absolutely
take
not.
a little bit of pressure off you, I think?
No way. Not going to happen. Those guys, this is their whole body of work they're talking about.
Because I remember when, ironically, Scott Weiland went and took over, took the Velvet Revolver job, and there were a lot of guys in GNR in that. I guess there were legal reasons why he couldn't do that. But, for instance, if he
Well, yeah, it's because Axl owns the name.
Yeah. But if they came out and said, if for some reason he didn't, there seems to be...
If Axl didn't own the name and they went out, and they called themselves Guns N' Roses, wouldn't we all go, okay, that's Guns N' Roses?
I guess so. I guess we would. Yeah, no, you're
I mean,
right.
dude, yeah, come on. It's like it's a no-brainer.
It's just a lot of pressure for you, I think. I mean, I think what you've done is a very, very challenging gig.
You know, it's definitely got its challenges. It definitely makes me appreciate more what I have with Linkin Park and what we have with as a band, not only on a professional level but also on a personal level. And you know, I want to bring that culture into the lives of, you know, Robert and Eric and Dean, and you know, hopefully this positively affects Scott as well. And you know, that would be the ultimate awesome win-win for everybody. At the same time, you know, going into this, like, there's no question that when people hear it, they're going to, you know, hear Stone Temple Pilots with Chester. If they're STP fans, they're probably going to go, that is bull.
Right.
You know? And that's expected. So the challenge is then to go out and let the music do the talking. You know, we want to put new music out, and we want to go tour, and we want to play the songs the way that they're supposed to be played, and we want to bring new music that lives up to what STP is.
I got a quick question. You're from Phoenix, right?
Correct, yeah.
Do you ever get a chance to come to Tucson or Phoenix, hang out in this area?
I was just in Phoenix, actually. Over this last weekend, I work with Cardinals Children's Medical Center in Arizona, and it's a great place for kids who get bumps and bruises and get sick, but it's also it's the best place in Arizona to go, and probably pretty soon in the nation to go for the all-in children's commitment and family commitment that they have there at the hospital.
Well, now, I know California's a lovely place and all, but don't you miss the 117-degree heat?
You know, that's the one thing I wish I could take with me everywhere. And, yeah, no, nobody misses that.
No.
I mean, but the great thing about Arizona, which I think is a testament to the beauty of the state, is that people are willing to tolerate it, because it's probably, you know, it's definitely in the top 3 most beautiful places in the world on my list, and I've been in a lot of places. And you know, it's a special piece of the United States. There's nothing like it.
Chester, I mean, I could talk to you about hours about a ton of stuff. I know there are other people waiting to talk to you, but thanks again for taking the time. And I mean, for the busiest guy in music, I mean, are you getting enough sleep these days?
I will sleep when I die. That's my. We live once. And, you know, there are a lot of people, I think, that have opportunities in their lives that they kind of look at and they get scared, or they kind of go, you know, the responsibility of achieving the success of what it is that they want to do gets kind of overwhelming. My advice to them is grab a machete, close your eyes, and run through the jungle, because no one's going to carve that path for you. You know what I'm saying?
Not even a loincloth to protect the bits from the machete, though?
You gotta capture that animal and cut yourself one. There's not going to be a loincloth shop out there. I can tell you that.
Chester Bennington, we will look for you on Recharged is out now. We'll continue to look for you on STP. Thanks again, man, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.